One day I was just scrolling on Instagram and I saw this insanely tall dude dancing to this song. Go, go. And I started looking into them and I was like, oh, they're Cortis. And Fashion came out, I love it. And they came out with their album Green Green. Amazing, amazing. So what was your first impression of Cortis? My impression of Cortis was that this is really 5th generation. As in, you guys ever hear people debating about when is 4th gen and when is 5th gen? So I didn't like when people were like, oh, it's 5th gen or it's 6th gen actually. But then I actually think Cortis marks the highlight of 5th generation. I think there's multiple things that Cortis represent that also represent the entirety of 5th gen idol. Is that number one, they're really free. The freedom is sort of like a concept and keyword for almost all of these 5th gen idols. Because I don't know how many old K-pop fans are here, but back in the days, especially around 3rd to 4th gen idols, it was like strict, official, mysterious, organized. You know what I mean? It was very like a well-crafted artwork, and the choreography, you saw them sweating and making sure each angle, like they were literally talking about has to be like certain angle from the other angle. But now they're just kind of all in this free vibe. And number two, alongside that free line, I really think most of the K-pop idols have transitioned into self-production. So obviously, you know, other groups like Stray Kids or BTS, Big Bang, there's a lot of self-produced idols, but recently it almost feels like a requirement. Do you guys agree? I think it's because there might have been a slight repulsion from some people saying they're not artists if they don't make their own song, especially in the male idol. Do you guys agree? Compared to the female idol, almost all male idols nowadays are self-produced. At least they try to make that as a concept. I think like on the center of that is Cortis. And you could literally see the behind the scenes. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of like seeing a recipe of how the song was made. So I really like a lot of the Cortis concept, but most importantly, I like the song. I love Go. Especially the chorus, the choreography, all of it together is so catchy and fresh. It's so fresh. If I'm being honest, I like Go the first time I listened to it, but I didn't like Fashion the first time I listened to it. So after Go, I was really excited for their next comeback, and I heard Fashion, and I was just kind of, it doesn't hit as hard as Go did. But then I kept listening and listening, and the real charm of Fashion comes in 2 places. Number 1 is the breakdown of the James part. 왜 왔어? 환유로라 매일. Do you guys know which part I'm talking about? 구제판 샥샥 긁어내. Vini Jesus. That part, choreo, James goes crazy. It's like 쿵 쿵. Especially at the performance video. Okay, that point number 1. And 2, you know how near end of Fashion, they kind of repeat again and again. First time listening, I didn't really think it was that good. I was like kind of repetitive, kind of boring. Especially in the music video, I can't really see it. But then with the choreo, you know how they go like Fashion, 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 and they're like and they go crazy. That part, I love it. The slight. Especially, they did that exact same part at Mama. I was going crazy. Like they zoom out on the camera and they're like Fashion, Fashion, Fashion. Yeah, I love it. I also love every single Martin's rap. 심장이 팍팍 한눈에 바로 칵칵. I love it. And then going on to the green, I would say, I think I already picked my favorite. It's definitely either Jungkook or Asahi. Asahi dance is literally like the best thing ever. Bark, thank you. Ha, Asahi. I love, especially when Martin swings his head. That's my favorite part. And Jungkook, I don't understand why some people still think Jungkook is a bad song. Can I be honest? If someone says Jungkook is bad, they don't know music. I'm being serious. Like they might be a little bit outdated. Jungkook is not even a joke. It's legitimately a banger. But I feel like if you aren't as used to the recent trend in music, that's probably why you feel repulsed by it. But I feel like it's actually one of the most trendiest sounds that I've heard in the recent K-pop. Obviously, the lyrics... Okay, wait. I don't want to go off in like a whole yapping, but can I have a little bit talk about K-pop and lyrics? You guys ever hear discussion around especially songs like Jungkook and people saying like lyrics are trash, they have no artistic value. Back in the days, lyrics used to have meaning and poetic values. Now, they all just say random gibberish. They can't make good music with good lyrics anymore. Hear me out. Do you really think K-pop use bad lyrics because they can't write sophisticated lyrics? That is not true. This is a little bit deep analysis of music coming from a musician. Did you know that in music, you have to balance out the lyrics and the music? As in, the weight between lyrics and the production has to be at the same balance. What I mean by that is, let's say you have songs that are very calm, like, imagine Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Biba Doobie, Leve. There's less production element and there's more room for you to pay attention to lyrics. In those songs, you have a lot of room to develop your lyrics in artistic sense. Now, K-pop music generally are very highly produced. If you listen to Jungkook, if you listen to entire album of Green Green, production hits you non-stop. If you try to squeeze in a high-valued, high poetic lyrics in there, it's actually too much that it doesn't hit you. If that makes sense. If they wrote Jungkook in a poetic way, the song wouldn't have hit as the same. I'm being serious. There's like a balance when it comes to music. So they intentionally write dumb lyrics, like quote quote dumb lyrics. It's like food. Just putting a lot of stuff in a food isn't always good. You have to make sure some parts are a little bit bland, some parts are a little bit salty. And also because K-pop is also choreo heavy. There's so many room in K-pop with visuals, choreo, fashion, as well as the production, that if you try to squeeze in too much meanings in the lyrics, that it actually kind of breaks the balance. I just kind of wanted to say this to people who don't like Jungkook because of the lyrics, or just anybody in general who says K-pop music doesn't have good lyrics. You should take a listen to the more relaxed songs and you would figure out it's not as dumb lyrics as you think. Obviously, my bias is my boy Martin. I'm really looking forward for the day where Martin debuts as a solo. I'm not saying he will, but I feel like he would in the future because he has a lot of artistic ability. He would want to express his own artistic desires outside of the group as well. I genuinely think Martin and James doesn't match in personality. Have you guys ever seen lives or videos of Martin and James talking to each other?
Yeah, something to say? No. You got something to say? No.
Oh my god. I've never seen so terrible chemistry between K-pop idols. It's not like they hate each other, but their conversation just doesn't flow. It just doesn't flow. With other members, the synergy is fine, but when it's just Martin and James, it's really awkward. But they do always choose to room together in hotel rooms. Maybe they enjoy that awkwardness. At least when I watched the live, it felt very awkward. And can I fanboy over Martin just a little bit longer? I think Martin is genuinely kind. Obviously, we can't tell everything when we're only seeing them in front of the cameras. And like, what do I really know about them? Who knows, they might be acting this way. But genuinely, if you look at Martin's behavior, you could tell not just about kind, it's very pure and innocent. And not just in K-pop, I haven't seen someone like that in general in a while. Especially because when you've been in the entertainment industry, a lot of people they lose their innocence, straightforwardness because they have to deal with other workers, other musicians. They become more mature and they become a little bit more socialized. Oh, right. No, like Felix was like that. I know what you're talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like Felix around like debut, I think Felix is still, but like at the same time, Felix became more mature though. You know what I mean by like the mature part, right? I'm not talking about how they lose their innocence, but you know what I mean by Martin is kind, right? The part I see that the most is when Martin does fan service. Oh my gosh. I've never seen someone who does fan service so thoroughly, so genuinely. Everyone is kind of acting up a little bit on fan service, but Martin's fan service literally feels like he's in love. Initially, people are saying like, oh, his fan calls are cringy, but like, it's so genuine, the way he laughs and stuff. He's excited. I think my worry is that if you see Martin's live, then there's a lot of moments where he's a little bit soft. As in, I feel like as kind as he is, he gets hurt by other people's words really easily. And I hope that he doesn't turn in personality because people attack him or, there's too many other people in entertainment industry who are being mean to him. Probably because a lot of people are jealous of him. I just wish the best of him. This might be a little bit controversial. Martin feels a little bit more F than other members, like MBTI wise. And I might be wrong, but the other members seems to be a little bit more playful teenagers. Yeah, Juhoon is slightly more F among the other member, but like James, Kono, Sunghyun is a little bit more T. But another thing I want to mention, this is not even about Martin, is when I see James, I kind of feel bad for James. As in, you know how James has a big age gap between the other members? I think like 3 or 4 years. Thing is, 3 years might seem like nothing, but difference between 20-year-old and 17-year-old is absolutely huge. Do you guys agree, right? Like 26 and 29 is not like that different. The issue is that in Cortis, James stands out in terms of age group. Whenever I see James, I feel like he has a slight pressure because even though, you know, Martin's the leader, I think he has a slight pressure for being the oldest hyung in the group. But I also feel like James doesn't naturally fit that role. I feel like he would kind of naturally be more comfortable in an environment where he's the youngest, because I heard in trainee A, he was supposed to be the youngest trainee in that group. So I feel like he was raised in an environment being a little bit more playful, being a little bit more irresponsible as maknae. That part, I feel a little bit bad because I saw this video where James, after they do the music bank or whatever show, went to meet one of the previous trainee A members. He was kind of acting like a puppy there. But I feel like he can't do that with the other members in Cortis because they're like 3 years younger. You can't be 20-year-old and going to 17-year-old and doing all like cutesy and, you know. But I also feel like as they grow older, that age gap is gonna become nothing. My worry is just as of now. Sorry, this is just like some personal comments I had about Cortis. And another one is, guys, Martin is genius. I've seen some of the songs that he released among the unreleased one. You know the demos he shows on live? I think there's like Nani. I forgot the other demo's name. They're good. I genuinely think Martin is the G-Dragon position. But did you guys see Martin singing 잔나비 song as well as 난춘, 새소년? His singing, it rings your heart. Initially, I didn't think Martin would be a singer, but he has that vibrato in the voice, that shake that rings your heart. And you know who that's like? Keshi has that. I'm not even lying. There's singers, I'm not that type of a singer, but you know who has that like natural shake? Not because they're bad at singing, but they just have it in their tone. I felt it. Martin's is a little less polished. So as a result, when he sings those songs like 난춘, it really rings the emotion in the song. It almost to the point where, he has so much talent that we're not even seeing everything in the Cortis songs. If you listen to Cortis songs, 90% of the chorus audio is Martin's voice. So most Cortis song, you know how they layer several vocals with the tunes on it? The top layer is always Martin's. So all the Cortis sounds that you hear in Cortis music is actually Martin's voice. He's literally the core of the group. I'm not saying other members aren't important. It's just that his voice is so crucial. How do you guys feel about Motion? You know, the new song with Juicy J. I don't really feel it. I'm sorry if I'm a fake fan. I don't really feel it. So I opened up my YouTube and there was a new song from Cortis. So I was like, what is this? I clicked on it. I trap back down Motion. And I was just kind of like, Sorry. Maybe similar to Fashion, it might grow on me over time. But I think the reason why they worked on that song, hear me out, this is my interpretation. They knew it wasn't going to be the most commercially successful song. The reason why they participated still and released it is because Juicy J is sort of like one of the core artists when it comes to Memphis rap. The music genre of Motion is Memphis, and I think they kind of wanted to show the range and authenticity that they have in hip-hop field by collaborating with these artists and being able to prove themselves that we're not a fake hip-hop copier. We actually are aware of different hip-hop genres. We touched this genre. So I think it's more of like an artistic statement rather than a commercial statement, which is also why they didn't promote it like all that much. You know how Martin shout outs artists that he listens to? Oh my god, to like the nicest boy in the world, why are these artists hating? Jesus Christ, I guess it gets on my nerves so much. Who was it? Who was the first one? Jane Remover? And who was the second one? I don't even know his name. Matt Proxy? My question is, it's not even like Cortis or Martin dissed them. You feel me? They literally said, these are the musicians I love and the songs I listen to. And then they go all like, tell them to stop rapping. Turn off this trash music. Hear me out. This is why I don't like musicians, even though I'm also a musician. These people are so stuck up in their artistic mentality that they lack common sense and common manners. Whatever your artistic whatever is, if someone says, oh, your art is nice, and let's say you don't like that person, the best you could say is thank you or literally nothing, right? What in the elementary school behavior is this? Okay, imagine you walk up to a kid in class and you said, oh my gosh, I love your hair, and they went like, well, yours is ugly. What would you think? Oh, something's wrong with this kid. Like, you don't even want to argue. You're like, they got some issues. Like, did Cortis burn your house? Did they say let's get in a fight? Nah, I don't know what their issue is. I don't get it. And the crazy part is, Martin's like at the time like 17. If I was Cortis, and when I got that reply back, you know what I would have said? I would have been like, I decided to be a generous artist as a worldwide famous musician to give a shout out to small creators like you. But now, you be talking trash? How pitiful is your tiny career? Like, I would have went off and be like, you know what? Never mind, and good luck with your whatever 3.5k followers. Have fun making money with that. Like, I would have been all like, petty and all that. But my worry is, I'm afraid that Cortis member or Martin, they might be like, oh, feelings hurt and cry by themselves. So, how do you guys feel about Cortis and musicians saying their music is plagiarized? Being honest, I have my own definition. Hear me out. Plagiarisms I really don't enjoy is when someone directly takes audio. I'm actually more sensitive towards samplings. When someone else use another person's audio without permission and make money off of it, those kind of plagiarism, I'm very sensitive about that. I feel like that goes against artistic. But in the line of copying style, I'm actually kind of lenient on this. Hear me out. It's because I personally believe all art, all music is a deviation of existing music. I don't think any musician could necessarily say their music has not been influenced by anyone else. There's a famous quote from Picasso. Picasso said, good artists copy, great artists steal. As in, we think great artists are great just because we don't know exactly where that inspiration came from. And I'm not even saying that's bad. You guys know Michael Jackson, his moonwalking, his signature moves. You guys know how that is inspired from another movie and actor. I think it was Little Prince. And the thing is, Michael Jackson didn't even hide it. He acknowledged and he gave shout out to it several times. And also, within the hip hop field, once trap and 808 sounds were being popular, everyone started using those sounds. And even in K-pop, do you guys agree? When like BTS or Stray Kids or Blackpink does something, every other group kind of follows the trend. I personally feel like musically, I'm not really on the side of why Cortis should be so hated for their music. What I feel like is the reason why so many people are upset is because Cortis is technically an idol within the K-pop scene, and they took music from an hip-hop scene. Historically, I think hip-hop audience and hip-hop artists in general, they have beef with K-pop musicians. Hip-hop is very exclusive, as in they don't like when non-hip-hop people call themselves hip-hop or non-hip-hop people try to do hip-hop music. Like, they have an extremely strict definition of who is rapper, who is not rapper. Even within the hip-hop, they call like other rappers like fake rapper, real rapper. You know what I mean? And K-pop is standing at the exact opposite end of it, of like most commercial, loved by, like young girls and wide audience. I understand why there's like a historical beef. Also, even though I'm a Cortis fan, I'm not like a core, but I'm a Cortis fan. You guys know the line from Fashion? Neti, $5, 바지, 만원. Okay, that line is very direct reference of Praise the Lord by A$AP Rocky. As someone who enjoyed both songs, when I first heard the song, I thought, huh? But at the same time, is this in the line of legal or moral issue? As in, if you listen to the whole song of both of them, they're totally two different songs. It's just literally totally different, to the point where in my head, if another hip-hop artist did this, it would feel more like a homage. But I feel like when K-pop do it, then it feels like stealing, because K-pop's not within the hip-hop realm. Yeah, I think it's like an over reference. And also, I think the issue is that since they share a different audience, as a hip-hop fan, when I listen to Cortis' line, I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is like the A$AP Rocky Praise the Lord, right? But then the issue I think is when K-pop audience hears it and they go like, oh my gosh, I love this Cortis song, and they listen to A$AP Rocky and then say, oh, they copied Cortis fashion, then I think it's very valid for hip-hop fans to be upset. You see, I think you just have to know like where the reference and influence came from. I think that's also the reason why they collab with Juicy J. I think they are also going to try to collab with more American hip-hop artists or even Korean hip-hop artists to kind of prove that they want to pay respect to the field. Because like, they can't go in the middle of a song, be like, shout out to A$AP Rocky for this line. And in fact, Martin is repeatedly giving the shoutouts. He is not even like hiding. He's like saying these are the music that I'm listening to and influenced by. Like, he's literally presenting. Then the people who got the shoutouts are like mad and all that. And I just want to tell them like, then are you not influenced by other artists? Huh? Going back to Cortis, I'm very excited what their next project will be, because I think Green Green probably did better than what the company imagined. I think it was the biggest commercial success among all groups recently. Has there been any other album that has caused cultural significance recently more than Green Green? Obviously, Stray Kids Karma sold well, but I also feel like they already had a big audience. I feel like BTS Arirang album had the similar level of cultural influence as Green Green. And the ones I could kind of like trace back and think of is probably, you know, the New Jeans EP. Like, it feels like about same level of sensation as when New Jeans came out with, you guys remember like Hype Boy, Attention, Cookie, OMG, like that era. I do think in terms of commercial and public awareness, New Jeans was still a little bit more. Do you guys agree? And there's also a difference between when it comes to boy groups and girl groups. Just generally, girl groups have a little bit more of public access. Just kind of a general trend when it comes to K-pop. So, which is why I think Cortis is so surprising, because usually in the recent trends, boy groups don't appeal to wide audience. Do you guys agree? Boy groups tend to have more narrow, deep fandom in comparison to girl groups who are a little bit more appealing to wider audience. But I think Cortis did very good job of breaking that. Lol, no? Wait, what are you talking about? K-pop boy groups have much broader fan base, receiving more funds and resources, have larger teams and dedicated to marketing. Hear me out. We're getting fooled by BTS and Stray Kids. I swear to God. As in, they're just so unbelievably large that it makes us feel like boy groups appeal to wider audience. Think about Twice, think about Blackpink. Don't you think Blackpink music, Twice music is listened more wider audience than TWS or Boy Next Door type? I just feel like boy groups have a narrower fan base. Girl groups have both male and girl fans, while boy groups have more girl fans only. Not like fans, but audience. What I'm talking about in terms of audience is, you guys know those people who listen to LE SSERAFIM's music, but they don't even know any of the members' name? I'm talking about like in that realm. To those people, like if we include everybody who listen to music, like even not non-K-pop fans, generally I think girl group music reach wider. In terms of fan strength, boy groups are unbelievably stronger. Girl groups appeal to normies. But the reason why I was talking about this word Cortis is because Cortis, I actually think, appeal to the normies. Boy groups don't appeal to normies. Like, normies don't really listen to Stray Kids, even though Stray Kids is so big. I don't know, do you guys agree? I don't really see normies listening to Stray Kids. Like, normies would listen to New Jeans. There's people who listen to New Jeans, but like, they don't know anything about K-pop. Thing is, not like as much, but like just a little bit. Just a little bit more than normal. As in, the Red Red reached a little bit more than what normal boy groups would have. I was just kind of referring to the fact that Cortis is able to break that stereotype of a boy group. what are you guys kind of looking forward for their next year? So this is their first year since debuted. I think they did best they could as much as possible. I feel like we'll be expecting too much if we want them to grow as much as they did the first year. I'm just being honest. Because if they grow as much as they did the first year, they might win Mama or Billboard first. BTS level? I actually don't think it's possible for any groups to reach BTS level. But if I had to place the bet, then among the new generation, I think Cortis could do it. I thought New Jeans was gonna be there. And I hope none of the Cortis members get cancelled or anything. I don't think they have anything to be cancelled, right? Maybe I'm unaware, but I don't think I've heard any slight issue with the Cortis members. Has there been any? Who's bad? Come on. We're safe if the biggest controversy of Cortis so far is Juhoon's bed. There was the lighting, okay? We don't talk about that. They really don't have controversy. This is great. Because in nowadays world, people get teared apart for literally anything. So the fact that Cortis hasn't been any majorly cancelled, I think it's a great thing. Oh, James's expression. Okay, now like that's like a crazy people who James is just sitting there and people are like trying to read into his face or something. I also think the reason why is because you know how they were scouted by the company at very young age, literally since elementary school. So I think since Big Hit knew that they were going to be the next big group, they don't want a big group to be cancelled by something like childhood bullying or anything like that. So they probably managed the kids not just to practice dancing, but also to never get involved in any kind of illegal activity or bullying. So I don't think we have to worry about any of the past stuff coming up. The fact that they went through 1 year safe without micro-analyzed, I think is good. And another great thing is they're super young, so we don't have to worry about them going to military. That's another good thing about Cortis. Guys, Green Green was a EP, right? It's not an album. I don't think we could expect album next year. They're probably gonna test the waters with one more EP, kind of like how New Jeans did. If they come back with the album, I think it'll be really bold move because all the expectation in the world is gonna be on them. Like the first album of Cortis. But EP is sort of a lighter, less investment. Aren't they getting overworked already? Come on. I understand that there's a lot of overworking when it comes to K-pop field, but I think Cortis literally just been around for 1 year. I think they want to overwork right now. I don't know if you guys seen Martin's interview, but he talked about how much he wants to be on stage when he debuted. This is like pre-debut interview. I think we looked at it together. And he's looking forward to be performing in front of people. So I don't think we should try to hold them back for overworking. Maybe by like 4th year that we could like have the talk about, you know, should they rest? But they seem to be excited, passionate right now. You could also see that because you know how there's like the 7th year curse when it comes to K-pop group? Because they've been in the industry and they've been performing for so long. I think the good thing is that they don't have that. What do you guys think about put your phones down incident? So for anyone who might not know, recently Cortis held a concert and they told people in the concert to put their phones down and vibe with them.
I told you to put your phones down. Yeah.
But then people didn't. So Cortis kept telling them to put the phones down so we could vibe together. I know there is mixed opinions behind this. I personally feel like, why wouldn't you put the phone down? I am a type of person who don't record when I go to a concert. So at the same time, I understand because idol scene, you want to capture their face and moment. But my defense is you can just put it up for a little bit and take the photo and video. And after you took enough, you could put it down and then vibe for the rest. I do the same thing when I go to concert, you know, to post on Instagram or stuff like that. You don't have to record the whole thing. My question is, if you're recording the whole thing, aren't you kind of not able to experience the concert? Which is why I also feel like they promoted the put your phones down. And then some of the fans were upset that they performed Jungkook multiple times. My opinion is, first of all, you knew they had like 7 songs. It's literally on Spotify. Like, you feel me? You knew that, okay? And second, why not multiple Jungkooks? Why not? I'd be vibing. So I just kind of feel like if you are a real fan of Cortis music, I think you could have enjoyed. But at the same time, I don't know. It's just... And also, wait, here's my opinion. Is that maybe it wasn't a time for a concert yet because they had so little songs. But also at the same time, they're so popular right now, it kind of makes no sense to not do a concert. That's Hive's fault. They should have done covers or crowd work. I do think they could have done few covers, such as imagine Martin saying Nanchun or something like that. People would have died. People would have been like passing out. What if they didn't want to do covers though? I feel like Martin would have loved to sing. That was just my personal opinion about Cortis and the concert, and I am excited for their upcoming music. If you guys have any other opinions about Cortis, leave the comments and let me know, and like and subscribe.